Breaking news, breaking news, breaking mother effing news. Check it out. Floyd Mayweather, they're saying that his empire is crumbling. Now, we're going to analyze Floyd Mayweather's empire today. We're going to see how he's flossing, how he's living, and how much money he's making in a fight. Could you imagine making over $100 million, $200 million to get in the ring? Come on, man. Let's start this party. All right. No, I need it now. Forget it. You know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. I'm back, right? So check it out. I found this joint on Floyd Mayweather, and I like the way he was talking, and I think this would help us to understand what to do when we get the effing bag. We already see what's going on with all these big, rappers and entertainers and athletes. They make millions of dollars and then they go broke, right? But we're going to see why by analyzing Floyd Mayweather, and y'all put in the comments and let me know what you think. But before we even go any further, make sure you hit the like button. All right, let's ride.
Why not? I mean, everything you got on costs money. Everything you do costs money.
Why has it always come to money?
Why not? I mean, everything you got on costs money. Everything you do costs money.
Is that how you measure your success?
No. I'm loyal and honest. Money don't make me, I make money.
In the world of boxing, Floyd...
All right, so Floyd said money don't make him, he make money, and that he's morally honest. That's what it's all about. But see, you can't chase a dollar, because anything you chase, that means it's not really yours, because if it was meant to be for you, God would have given it to you. So, let's make sure we got this right. For what we doing, we riding.
Mayweather was more than a fighter. He was a walking empire. Undefeated in the ring, unstoppable outside it, or so it seemed. With over $1 billion in career earnings, luxury cars, private jets, and diamond watches, Mayweather sold the world an image of endless wealth. But behind the flash, cracks were quietly forming. In 2018, he promoted a crypto company later exposed as a $32 million scam. By 20...
All right, so do you feel that you're supposed to save the wealth, invest the wealth, or spend the wealth? If you had $1 billion empire, if you was making all this money, he made over $1 billion now. If you was making all this money, what would you do with the money? Because a lot of y'all gonna complain, and I'm even gonna complain when we see some of this. This man got 100 watches, 100 chains. I mean, come on, dog. How many can you wear? But I ain't gonna front. I did the same when I was in that position, but that's why we're gonna try to figure out how to save you and your bag here. Do you lose yourself when you get the bag and get caught up in trying to shine for everyone else and worrying about what the outside think? Hit the like button, put the comments in. Let's keep it moving because we riding.
2022, its founders were in prison. Mayweather paid a six-figure fine and walked away. But that was just the beginning. From shady real estate claims and unpaid taxes to lawsuits over exhibition fights, Mayweather's money brand is now under fire. No bankruptcy has been declared, but insiders say the empire is unstable. How did one of the richest athletes in history become a financial mystery? This is the story of how Floyd Mayweather's carefully built image of wealth, power, and control is now being questioned.
How could his empire be unstable if he has the money to pay for it and to maintain? But this is what you have when you get outsiders that's trying to enter into a space, a lane that they know nothing about. You never had over $100 million. So you can't tell that, oh, he made shady this. No, look, look how we riding. People is going to come today. People is going to come, and today they're going to bring you all kinds of ideas and things that they want to do. Now, when they bring you these ideas and things they want to do, you put the bag up because it sounds good. if it's shady, if it's not right, whatever it is, you don't know. And that's how you get caught up. But you only put up money that you have and that you could afford to invest with. In other words, if you only got $1,000, you don't say, "Oh, I'm going to take out a lease and I'm going to buy a truck." You know what I mean? And start a trucking business. Now you put up the money, and now you done spend $1,000. You ain't even got money for gas, and you ain't got money to print cards. You ain't got nothing to do nothing. But I can't see his empire crumbling like they saying. But I'm really just entertaining this because this is a Friday and we riding.
And the more we dig, the more unsettling the truth becomes. Floyd Mayweather didn't just win fights, he built a lifestyle brand. From the start, he understood that boxing alone wasn't enough to keep him rich forever. So he turned his victories into headlines and his headlines into business. Over the years, he earned more than $1.1 billion, not just through punches, but through clever planning and showmanship. His fights against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor alone brought in hundreds of millions. But what made Mayweather different wasn't just the money, it was how he used it. He made his wealth part of the performance. Every time he
Now that was deep. You know what they said? He made his wealth part of the performance. So that means that by him buying all of these watches that we sit here saying, he only got 2 wrists. He can only wear one at a time. What does he need to pay about $1 million for every watch? Because that's a part of the persona to make us talk about him, to make us purchase and be a part of whatever he do. That's called branding. He brought his flashy lifestyle and his wealth and his boxing into one beautiful brand. Round of applause to Floyd Mayweather. Round of applause to Floyd Mayweather. We gotta give him a round of applause. All right, relax, y'all. Relax, man. Can I finish the show? Let me ride, man.
showed off a private jet, an $18 million watch, or stacks of cash on Instagram, he was reinforcing the image that he was the king of money.
Now, I want to know, right? I want y'all to put in the comments, right? Because I know y'all ain't even going to believe this, right? Because, when I was out there doing my thing, selling 25 kilos a day, I couldn't read or write. I used to have to fly from New York City all the way to Virginia to bring my brother, you know what I mean? To bring my brother the mail. And say, yo, I got these court papers. I need you to read this for me. I see the date, but I don't know what they got me going to court for. And then my brother had to read it because I couldn't read. He's the only one that kept my secret. And I say that because Floyd Mayweather himself couldn't read. And look what he have accomplished. And they say, oh, he's illiterate. He can't read. He sure know how to do math. All right.
This wasn't just bragging. It was a business. He built Mayweather Promotions to control his fights and collect a cut from other fighters too. His persona, Money Mayweather, became a product the world couldn't stop watching. To his fans, he was untouchable, undefeated, and unstoppable. But behind that image, there were signs that things weren't as solid as they seemed. He invested in flashy assets, mansions, exotic cars, a strip club, and even a roller rink. On the surface, it looked like smart diversification, but beneath the surface, many of these assets weren't appreciating in value. Some weren't even fully paid off. The lifestyle was glamorous, but it came with heavy costs, both financial and personal. Mayweather had created a powerful brand, but the more he invested in the image, the more he had to protect it. That meant never showing weakness, never admitting struggle. And that's where the problem started.
And remember, all that is not knowing how to read and write. Yo, make sure, right? This is what we got to do. Make sure right now, I need everybody to go subscribe at my daughter's YouTube channel, Juanita Mecca Audio, and my brother, Real Boss TTTV. You want to hear the banging music, you just put on one of his playlists and keep it moving. You know, I'm talking about when you riding. All right.
The signs were subtle at first. A tax lien here, a lawsuit there. But as time passed, the cracks in Floyd Mayweather's empire became harder to ignore. In 2015, the IRS filed a lien against him for $22.2 million in unpaid taxes. This was during the same period when he claimed to be retired and living stress-free. To the public, it looked like a rich man enjoying life. But behind the scenes, there was a growing list of bills and legal obligations that weren't being met. His Beverly Hills mansion, bought for over $25 million, sat on the market for years, unsold despite a listing price nearly double what he paid. His watch collection was worth millions, but luxury items lose value quickly. His cars, Rolls-Royces, Ferraris, and Bugattis, required constant expensive maintenance. And although Mayweather claimed to own everything, many of his high-priced items may have been leased or financed. The difference between ownership and image was becoming blurry. At the same time, there were lawsuits over unpaid jewelry, disputes with business partners, and growing concerns about his actual liquid cash. Being worth hundreds of millions is one thing. Having access to that money is another. Mayweather continued to show off his lifestyle on social media, but experts began asking tough questions. Was he actually as rich as he claimed? Or was he simply borrowing against his name, spending fast to keep up appearances?
And we know that he couldn't read, so we know that he is borrowing against his name, so it's both.
In early 2025, Floyd Mayweather made a bold announcement. He said he had just bought 62 apartment buildings in New York City, a deal he called the Black Spruce Portfolio. He told Jimmy Fallon on live television that he owned over 100 buildings, most of them in New York. The deal was supposedly worth $42 million. It sounded like a major business move, one that could reshape his image as more than just a flashy spender. But then something strange happened. Reporters started digging and couldn't find any proof the deal existed. In New York City, real estate transactions leave a public paper trail.
See, this is the crap that I don't like, right? I'm gonna keep it 100. I gotta give him a gunshot. This is the crap I don't like. They sitting here and they saying that it never listed, so they digging and trying to find this and find that. You know, I mean, everybody know that they hide. Everyone knows that they hide assets and they make shell corporations. It's just how business do. You know what I mean? So if you want to sit here and try and dig to find out what a man have, that means that you really need to get a life. You know, enjoy your life and enjoy the fact that the next person is enjoying theirs and they ain't out robbing and hurting nobody. All right? Because what we doing, we riding.
But there was no record of any of the buildings changing hands. No sales, no title transfers, no mortgage filings, not even a hint that the properties had been sold to anyone connected to Mayweather. Even the NYC Housing Partnership, which works closely with affordable housing sites, said they were never informed of such a massive sale.
All right, let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you all this. Does it matter? Does it really matter? I mean, they doing all this for what? Somebody explain that to me. Put in the comments, where does this matter? Because we riding.
Mayweather's team stayed quiet at first. Then when pressure mounted, they suggested that maybe the deal had been done through shell companies. But if that were true, records would still exist under different names. They refused to release those names. That raised even more suspicion. The real estate world isn't kind to false claims. And soon, doubts began spreading. Some experts guessed he may have invested in a portion of the deal, not bought it outright. Others thought it was just smoke and mirrors to protect his brand. The most public blow came when 50 Cent mocked him on Instagram, calling out the missing proof. What was meant to be a power move turned into a credibility problem. Real estate deals of this size don't just disappear. And for someone who built his image on financial dominance, failing to show receipts was damaging. The Black Spruce portfolio became a symbol of either the size of Mayweather's empire or the size of the illusion.
Chapter 4.
In 2017, Floyd Mayweather stepped into a new kind of ring: cryptocurrency. At the time, digital coins were the hot new trend, and Mayweather saw an opportunity. He tweeted a photo of himself holding stacks of cash with the caption, "Call me Floyd Crypto Mayweather from now on." It was bold, flashy, and exactly what his brand was built on. But behind the post was a risky move that would come back to haunt him. The tweet was promoting a company called Tech. They claimed to be launching a crypto debit card that could be used anywhere, backed by big companies like Visa and MasterCard. With nearly 8 million followers on Twitter, Mayweather gave the project instant credibility. What he didn't tell fans was that he was paid $300,000 to promote the company. That small detail would later trigger a major legal battle. Centratech raised over $25 million from investors.
Yo, you see that? But y'all pay attention to this, right? They said that they paid him $300,000 to be the face of this cryptocurrency joint. He does that, and they raised over $25 million, and all he got was a lousy $300,000. Gunshots. Let's keep it moving. Should have been caught up into, this how I would have did. Let's ride. If that was me, right? If that was me, I'm just giving y'all suggestions. This, if it was me. If it was me, I would have taken the $300,000 and I would have wanted a percentage. I would have asked, what's your goal? So if they say we're trying to make 10 million, 5 million. Okay, well, anything you raise over that 5 million from pay me this 300,000, I want a percentage of that. Even 10% of whatever it is. Let's ride. You know who did that first in the movie business? That was Tom Cruise when he was doing Mission Impossible. I'm going to talk quick so I get back to Floyd Mayweather, right? Tom Cruise did Mission Impossible. He was the first one to get $20 million a movie, and then he also said he wanted a part of the box office if it made over $100 million. So, of course, the movie made over $1 million. The movie made like $1 billion, so therefore he got paid, never had to look back again. And when they came back at him to do part 2, then he renegotiated and got even more. But Tom Cruise was the first one to get a part of the box office as an actor. And then who followed behind? Will Smith. Round of applause to Will Smith. All right. Hey, yo, come on, man. Relax, y'all. Relax. Come on, man. Chill out. I just want to ride.
But within months, the entire operation was exposed as a scam. The company had no real partnerships, no working technology, and even fake executive profiles on its website.
Got him.
The SEC launched an investigation, and the founders were later convicted of fraud. Mayweather, along with music producer DJ Khaled, was caught up in the fallout. Both had failed to disclose that they were being paid to promote the project. It wasn't just a violation of trust, it was a violation of securities law. In 2018, Mayweather settled with the SEC. He paid over $600,000 in fines and agreed to a 3-year ban from promoting any securities. It was a quiet ending to a very loud mistake. And while Mayweather didn't face jail time, the damage was done. His reputation took a hit. Fans and financial experts began to question his judgment. Was he chasing easy money? Was he being reckless with his brand? The crypto scam showed that even someone who seemed untouchable could be used and could make mistakes that cost millions.
See, that's from chasing his money and, trying to blow life in his brand. But let me say this. I got a question. Let me say this. They said that he was wrong for not disclosing that he got $300,000, right? So if people would have known that he got $300,000, they'll know that his heart wasn't in it. But aren't, whatever screwed up, vocabulary you want to use, aren't it that when you see somebody advertising something, you know they was paid for it already, right? Since when you have to announce you was paid to do this ad? And then now let's say he wasn't paid, and let's say that people brought into it because they felt that, he was involved or he invested in it and he's making money. Then right there, he's going to promote, the brand for that motive, the motive of making more money. So do you believe someone when they advertise a brand and say, oh, I got involved in this, I'm making millions of dollars? Do you believe them or do you do research on them? Let's ride, man. Chapter 5, let's roll call.
As Mayweather was dealing with crypto controversy, a much bigger threat had already been looming, the IRS. In 2015, the US government filed a lien claiming Mayweather owed more than $22 million in unpaid taxes. The debt dated back to the years 2010 through 2012, when Mayweather had made some of his biggest boxing paydays.
Could you imagine owing the IRS $20+ million over 2 years? No, but over 2 years. I just see we ain't gonna go there, but just picture that.
For someone who showed off so much wealth, it raised a serious question. Why weren't his taxes paid? Mayweather's team said he had made payments over time but hadn't cleared the full amount. That tax bill, some believe, was what pulled him out of retirement. After his 2015 fight against Manny Pacquiao, he had insisted he was done with boxing. But 2 years later, in 2017, he stepped back into the ring to face Conor McGregor, a fight that earned him around $275 million. It was one of the biggest paydays in boxing history, and it came right when he needed money the most. That fight cleared the IRS lien, but it didn't fix the deeper problem. Mayweather's spending habits were massive. His Beverly Hills mansion alone came with nearly $300,000 in yearly property taxes.
Dang.
His car collection cost millions to maintain. Luxury watches, jets, gambling, all of it added up. And when the boxing checks stopped coming regularly, the money didn't last the same way. What the tax issues revealed was that Mayweather's wealth depended on activity.
Yo, hold up. They sitting there acting like make sure you hit the like button. They act like they forgot that this man invested when he was outside the ring. You know, of course, the cryptocurrency thing that crashed or whatever, but he had other investments that made it. See, it's not what you know, it's who you know and what the F they know. You know what I mean? Do you think Jay-Z come up with these big ideas? No, they come to him. And then he got to vet them to make sure they're legitimate and they don't wind up like the cryptocurrency deal. But we ride.
He had to fight, promote, or invest to keep the cash flowing.
And he
And when he
invested.
wasn't doing those things, the empire started showing cracks. The IRS filing was a turning point. It forced him to reveal that even the man who called himself the best ever couldn't avoid financial pressure. And it hinted that behind the money image was a man who may have been living on the edge.
Chapter 6. Let's keep it moving.
In 2022, rumors started swirling that Floyd Mayweather had been briefly detained in Dubai. The reason? An unpaid $1.4 million jewelry bill. According to reports, Mayweather had visited a luxury store, picked out a custom diamond necklace during a private appointment, and then left without completing the payment. The store, a high-end jeweler named Pristine, filed a complaint with local police. Mayweather's team denied the incident, calling it fake news. But the timing raised eyebrows. Just days earlier, Mayweather had posted photos on Instagram showing off new diamond watches and chains, some of which looked strikingly similar to the ones mentioned in the complaint. Whether or not the arrest actually happened, the story spread fast. And it wasn't the first time Mayweather had faced accusations of skipping out on jewelry payments. In 2019, an LA jeweler sued him for $680,000 in unpaid custom pieces. That case was eventually settled, but it added to a pattern that was becoming hard to ignore. Despite claiming to be worth hundreds of millions, Mayweather was repeatedly being taken to court over unpaid luxury items. To critics, this didn't look like someone swimming in cash. It looked like someone who might be running low on liquid money. Dubai added another layer of risk. Unlike in the US, where celebrity mishaps can be quietly settled, Dubai has strict financial laws. Failing to pay for luxury.
See, they're acting like he has to, like he has to claim everything he owns. That's the problem. Everybody want to be in everybody's business. They want to know if the deal in New York, went through. They want to know if he owned the watches. They want to know if he owned the Bugattis. They want to know if he owned that. Explain to me why. What do that have to do with you? I mean, that's why I don't understand why I even do this crap. Why am I even reporting on this? You know what I mean? But this is just to show you how the games are played and so you understand that if you get the bag, invest wisely, and you don't have to go out and throw all your money around and waste it or, buy things that's going to depreciate in value. So you don't have to sit here and say, I own 9 Bugattis, I own this, but that was his brand and he did it well. Man, let me ride. I was locked up for 26 years, and for 26 years, I watched Roy Jones when he first came out, and that was a big one. What was the name? Mike Tyson was still doing his thing. You know what I mean? I watched Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson bought a house in Vegas and had a big-ass tiger. I'm scared of cats. Why the hell would a black man want a tiger in his yard? And you can imagine what he paid for that, And now he's doing podcasts. Not saying nothing bad about it, but I mean, come on. Mike, you wasted a lot of money. You all wasted a lot of money. And that's why I'm showing this so that we know the people, the fans, the loyal subscribers, and I'm not talking about the rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls. Y'all can get off my channel. Now, I'm talking about the people that really have a vision and a goal to get the bag. Pay attention to this video and these people's lifestyles so that you know how to correct it. The same way the youth paid attention to me selling drugs, winding up in prison for 26 years, flossing with cars, living like Mayweather of the crack era, all for nothing. You know what I mean? To sit in prison for 26 years, where I went in, my daughter was 18 months, 2 years. When I come home, she's 27 going on 28. I don't even know the woman standing in front of me. Because when I left, she was a child. And I don't want that for you. And that's why I'm doing this. Man, let's ride back to Mayweather.
Luxury goods there can lead to real consequences, fast. The fact that Mayweather kept returning to the city, showing off wealth while rumors of unpaid bills swirled, made people question what was really going on behind the scenes. Was this a misunderstanding? Or was Mayweather starting to stretch his finances too thin? The Dubai story, confirmed or not, fit into a larger puzzle, one where public image and private reality were no longer matching up. And the more these stories piled up, the harder it became to ignore the questions about his true financial state.
Chapter 7.
After the McGregor fight, many thought Floyd Mayweather would finally retire for good. He had nothing left to prove. But instead of stepping away, he kept coming back, not to fight champions, but to take part in exhibition matches. These were different from professional bouts. There were no official winners, no belts at stake, just large paychecks and global attention. For Mayweather, it seemed like easy money, but the fallout from these events told a different story. In 2021, he fought Logan Paul, a YouTuber with no professional boxing wins.
Big money.
Mayweather claimed he made $50 million from the event. Paul later said he was still owed $1 to $3 million and even threatened to take legal action. Mayweather brushed it off, blaming delays in pay-per-view payments. But fans and critics weren't convinced. It wasn't just Paul. Other opponents in similar fights also hinted at problems getting paid. The delays and disputes added more weight to the growing questions about Mayweather's finances. What bothered people most wasn't the fight itself, but what it represented. The man who once sold out arenas for real competition was now boxing influencers for cash. It felt less like legacy and more like survival. Mayweather's brand, once about power and perfection, now seemed focused on quick paydays. Even Joe Rogan commented that Mayweather had become obsessed with showing off rather than preserving his legacy. The structure of the exhibition
Showing off is his legacy. Why do they hate on the brother like that?
fights also raised concerns. Unlike traditional matches with guaranteed payments, these new deals were full of back-end agreements, relying on ticket sales, sponsorships, and complicated revenue splits. When those streams delayed or underperformed, fighters complained. And Mayweather's name, once a symbol of security in the sport, was now linked to unsettled deals and legal threats. While these exhibitions may have earned him another $200 million or more, the cost to his image was real. The world saw a man trying to hold on to a lifestyle, not a champion walking away at the top. Each new fight seemed to chip away at the mystique he spent years building.
Chapter 8. Let's keep it moving.
As the controversies piled up, from the crypto fallout to jewelry lawsuits and exhibition payment delays, a bigger picture began to form. It was no longer about one mistake or one lawsuit. It was about the growing gap between what Floyd Mayweather showed the world and what the records actually proved. Take the $42 million real estate deal, for example. Months after the announcement, there were still no property records showing any transfer. Real estate insiders said that deals of that size don't happen in secret. Mayweather's team refused to release documents, and journalists found nothing in public databases. When he appeared at a real estate event in New York to promote his portfolio, he didn't present any new evidence. It only raised more questions. Then there was the IRS lien, which proved he hadn't paid taxes on some of his biggest paydays. The SEC fines showed he had promoted a scam without telling fans he was paid. The jewelry disputes in both the US and Dubai suggested liquidity issues. Even the delayed payments to opponents hinted at a cash flow problem. And still, on social media, Mayweather continued to post the same images: private jets, diamond watches, and stacks of cash. But the illusion was starting to crack.
That's Money
Experts
Mayweather.
explain that wealth isn't just about what you show, it's about what you own, what you owe, and what you can prove. In Mayweather's case, the paper trail didn't match the performance. For years, he had sold the world a version of himself that appeared unstoppable. But now,
And he's still unstoppable. Stop hating.
the missing receipts were telling another story. He had built an empire on image, and once the public began to see through it, the strength of that image started to fade. The illusion of endless wealth is powerful, but eventually, reality always catches up.
Chapter 9.
Floyd Mayweather remains undefeated in the ring. No one can take away his boxing record, but outside the ring, the story is far more complicated. Despite everything, no bankruptcy has been filed, no court has declared him broke. He still travels, still posts photos of luxury, and still insists he's doing just fine.
He must be. Why y'all still hating on him?
The questions haven't gone away. What we do know is this: he paid fines to the IRS and the SEC.
Okay.
He was involved in a crypto scandal that scammed investors. He was sued over unpaid jewelry and faced accusations of delaying payments from his exhibition fights. And the $42 million real estate claim? Still unverified. Over time, these events created a pattern. One that suggests a man working hard to keep up a powerful image, even if the numbers behind it don't always add up. It's possible Mayweather is still incredibly wealthy. He may have hidden assets, private investments, and earnings the public doesn't see. But it's also possible he's spending faster than he's earning. That behind every photo of luxury is a reality of debt, lawsuits, or obligations that are catching up. The truth might be somewhere in between. What's clear is that Floyd Mayweather was a master of branding. He turned a career in boxing into a billion-dollar myth. But myths only last as long as people believe in them. And now, more than ever, people are starting to ask, is he the best ever? Or just the best at selling the dream? The story of Floyd Mayweather is no longer just about wins and belts. It's about money, image, and control. And whether he's a financial genius or simply great at hiding the truth, one thing is certain: Floyd Mayweather's legacy will be debated long after the final bell. If you thought Floyd Mayweather
Hey, yo, so that's what's going on with Floyd Mayweather, right? What do y'all think? Do y'all think that he gone broke? Somebody put in the comment. Do y'all think that this video was some bull crap? Put that in the comments. You know, I just don't like when they attack people for how they spend their money. If you made $270 million on a fight and you want to go buy 5 Rolexes and 5 Bugattis, that's on you. $270 million. That's like you taking your check that you got, $27,000 and you know, you say, let me go buy, a pair of red bottoms for my girl and, and go buy me a pair of Gucci sneakers and buy both of us matching outfits and spend, 10 grand, That's nothing. I'm out of here.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio.